First state done. That's pretty cool. Good morning. Day 12 on the road north. Sorry. I'm tired, I'm cold. It's 7:30. I left the shelter just a couple minutes ago, got back up to the AT. And today I've got a couple decisions to make. I can do like a 4-mile day and stop at another shelter. I'd plan on doing a 10-mile and stopping at a tent site that has an unreliable water source. So if there's no water running there, then I'll go 12.4 miles, well, total 12.4 to Bly Gap, I think it is, which is tenting and has a reliable water source. So it comes down to water today. Last night was okay. It was cold. It's 39 right now. It got chilly. So, you know, I was like, man, I just sent home my bag liner, which would have been nice last night. But my 10-degree quilt, I had pants. This was on, and I had my hat. Not this hat. You know the hat. Come on, help me out, people. I had a hat. So I was pretty good. It's unless I like tossed and turned and my quilt pulled up a little bit and I got some cold air in there, which was like, ooh, that's nice. This wasn't nice. But anyway, multiple opportunities to stop today. I apologize if I have anything glistening here. I may have a continuous drip from the wind and the cold. Get used to it in the cold sections if you're watching. It's just gonna happen, it's natural. The sun feels nice. Look at this knot. Those are big vines. I can't say how many little green tunnel things I've been through, but they never get old. Everyone's just a little bit different. I know they kind of look similar because it's trees over a leaf covered trail, but I think they're beautiful, especially when you get the sunlight peeking through. I'm headed down towards Dix Creek Gap, which is a place a lot of shuttles come for people in Hiawassee. But I've passed 3 different folks now going uphill, and they're like, hey, there's a guy down at Dix Creek Gap. He's got hot water, he's making coffee. And I'm thinking, coffee sounds pretty nice right now. This kind of reminds me of coming down around Stover Creek. Get the rhododendrons, the water right next to you. Look at this. A little bench. Isn't that cool? And a beautiful little waterfall. That is Carnes Cascade. So down there, there's a guy with a Ford, and then next to it is another guy with, I don't know what truck it is. But his name is the Discerning Hiker, and he owns a hostel past the Smokies. And he's kind of working his way back up there after an event down here, a kickoff. So doing trail magic, and have coffee, and hot cocoa, and a Twinkie. Oh my God, that was, I haven't had a Twinkie in I can't even know how many years, but I was like, I'm gonna have a Twinkie. But it was cool. So the gentleman with the Ford right there, he's like, hey, you're on YouTube, right? You're Hopper, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. His name's Chris. Very nice gentleman. So Chris, if you're watching this, it was great meeting you. I hope you enjoyed your hike. Now I am gonna go up, and we'll see. There's the Plum something shelter, about 4.5 miles up, and I think that would put me at like 8.9. And I'm gonna see how my body's feeling at that point, because it would be a shelter versus another like 4 miles to Bly Gap and just a tent site with no privy, nothing. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't done a cat hole yet. And if you don't know what a cat hole is, well, what does a cat do when it has to make? Digs a hole, does its business, covers the hole. That's a cat hole. And I haven't done that yet. So anyway, here we go. We have Plum Orchard Gap, which has a shelter that's 4.5, and then Bly Gap is 8.7. So it'll be another 4.2 miles past that. We shall see. Silence. The only thing you can hear is the jet overhead. No birds, no people. There's no leaves on the trees. It just sounds. It's weird. I started coming down this hill, and you hear everything, but now there's no wind. Just silence. I think some people come out on the trail to find some peace, you know, from something that happened in their lives, or, you know, maybe they just want to get away from it all. And you're gonna go through sections where there's people all over the place. You get to a shelter or something and it's really loud. But you get out there on your own and you have these moments. It's just pure peace. It's wonderful. So one thing about Georgia, especially February, March, water is kind of prevalent everywhere. I mean, you've got, that was a good stream back there. Yeah, coming out of rocks here. Yesterday, when I went down, it was coming out of the bottom of a friggin' tree. That was cool. Sorry I didn't bring my cameras with me. So yeah, you've got, when you look at like the Far Out Guide and AWOL, they'll tell you, especially the AWOL guide, I'll have a picture of a water drop. If the water droplet is full of blue, that means it's a reliable water source. If it only has a little bit of blue, it means unreliable. And when it's a little bit drier, it's not going to be running. And then in the Far Out Guide, people leave a lot of comments. Hey, this is running well, this isn't running well. So really very good tools. I mean, you got to spend some money on them, but I use them both. I kind of continuously throughout the day for planning and, okay, hey, can I go a little bit further without water because it's going to be up there? Do I need to get water at this source, etc.? So you should check them out. So Plum Orchard Gap, this is the last shelter in Georgia. And I'm not doing it. So I think I've got 4.7 miles to Bly Gap. I think my feet probably would have appreciated it. I want to push on and get to that 12 point something number today. Get into a new state. Maybe get a new state of mind too. First time I've seen these, I'm not exactly sure what they are. You know me and plants. Just just kind of out of the blue. And now I'm past them. We're gonna see. I'm gonna give it the old community college try. If there's water flowing at the stream about 1.5 miles, 2 miles before, I may just call it a day there. If there's no water, well, Mother Nature just made the decision for me. So right there, that's the water source. And there's a few campsites. So that's the pipe stream. And that to me looks like I just need to keep going. The campsites, the tent sites don't look too bad. Not really level. There's a couple that are somewhat level. It's nice and quiet. It's a nice little spot, but just not enough water. I don't want to sit there and try to get a little bit of water at a time out of that little stream. You know what this is? That's the border. I'm in Georgia. Now I'm in North Carolina. I just finished my first state. That feels freaking great. So it's funny because the Georgia and the North Carolina sign is like all beat up. And then you got the North Carolina into Georgia, it's all fancy. So there used to be a logbook here. And look at how old that is. So Bly Gap is just up here. I made a video, there's a famous oak tree. But there's quite a few people that are heading in for tenting and stuff, but that's what I'm gonna do tonight. So, sorry. So you have a couple different kinds of tenting, right? So you have stealth tenting, which means there's not any real tent site, and you just kind of sneak off and put a tent up. Then you have dispersed tenting or dispersed camping, which there's tent sites kind of set up. They know that they're like legit tent sites, but it doesn't have, you know, like the privy, but generally there might be water nearby. So tonight will be dispersed tenting for me, which means I got to go hang a bear bag. Yeah, first state done. That's pretty cool. Thank you for being here. It's been a long day. I appreciate it, and I will see you tomorrow.